This is Caitlin Renaud from Pixels and Pills, and we're at the EyeForPharma conference in Boston. And today I'm here with
Frank Dolan, Senior Vice President at Medpanel.
Hi, Frank. So you attended today's conference. What are the major themes you saw coming out of it?
Yeah, I think there are probably three themes that jump out at me. First is that there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of options out there as far as what to do in this marketing space. The second is that the measures are totally untraditional. They're all over the place, and it really depends on what we're actually trying to do. And the third big theme is that getting the executive buy-in seems to be inherently difficult because this really is an untraditional marketing space, and folks are looking for clues on how to do that, sell it up the organization.
All right, and so what do you see for the future of pharma? What do you see for 2011?
I think that there's going to be a lot of attempts to market, in this space and getting closer to the key customer constituency, whether that's patients, advocacy groups, physicians, you name it. It's an interesting space that's basically what we learned in school may not apply to this new atmosphere because there's more options, there's untraditional metrics, and it's kind of like, well, where do we go from here? So I think you'll see a lot of companies. We're all going to try different things. We're all going to look for different measurements, but I think it'll be critical for folks to get really, really clear on what is it they want to do and what do they want to communicate with their key customer, and then try to build a series of approaches around that and then measure constantly.
All right, and so earlier you mentioned a little bit before about where patients are going online to find their information. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's really neat. Medpanels, we've done some interesting work in this space and trying to understand where patients go to get information. And going back to this whole metrics component, what we've looked at, that patients spend different amounts of time and try to get different things out of the experiences, which make it complex to the pharma or biotech marketer. For one, when it comes to credibility, well, there's some marquee sites that are out there that patients who may be newly diagnosed or have a chronic condition that go to. You're thinking of a WebMD, maybe even a Medscape if they're really technical, MayoClinic.com. Those are great websites, and they may have great credibility with the patient, but where do patients derive the greatest value? It may be websites where they can actually express things. They can learn from other patients. They can have their voice heard, like a Facebook. So measuring things as far as how much time you're spending on a website, the influence where people act, the credibility where people shape beliefs, all of these are really, really different approaches, and you'll need to really think about the right method and the right site to be present when the patient needs you most for the opportunity to deliver your value proposition is most appropriate.
Oh, it's really fascinating. So do you have any ideas about how physicians are using the online space at all?
Yeah, well, clearly physicians are getting online more and more, and we see in the tumult of the biopharma industry, there's a lot of downsizing as far as the direct marketing goes. So the role of the sales rep, I think, is critical and very, very high value. But there's no question that the exposure to the brands for physicians is moving more online than some of the direct marketing approaches that, as an industry, we've taken in the past. So there are a lot of key websites. So there's some interesting technologies around social, but I think that that's a space in 2011 as the FDA and other entities give us more guidance. It'll be really clear on, as a pharma and biotech industry, what can we say, where can we be present, and what's the right way to shape influence and get brand awareness online.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
And this is Caitlin Renaud from Pixels and Pills.